Okay, let's talk about a story that starts out as this clever game of words and wit, but ends in a complete and total system meltdown. This isn't just a novel, it's like a controlled experiment in human connection that goes beautifully and terribly wrong.
This whole thing, this entire system, it really all boils down to one central question. Can pure intellect, raw logic, and this carefully constructed identity you built for yourself actually shield you from the chaos of your own feelings? I mean, really, can you outsmart love? So picture this. We're in Dublin, and for our characters, the world is basically a chessboard. Conversations aren't really for connection, they're for winning. Every email, every witty remark, every debate is just another strategic move. The goal is simple: stay cool, stay detached, and stay in complete control.
Now, on this board, we've got four key players, and you gotta see them not as people, at least not at first, but as pieces in this game. First, there's Frances, the brain, our cold, analytical narrator. Then we have Bobbi, the voice, her super charismatic ex-girlfriend and best friend. They meet Melissa, the wife, a successful writer. And then there's Nick, the handsome, kind of passive actor, who quickly becomes the prize.
The first move? It's pretty simple. A poetry performance by Frances and Bobbi catches Melissa's eye. That leads to a dinner invitation, which pulls them into this whole other world of sophisticated adult complexity. But the real action, the game-changing stuff, it starts quietly, digitally, with an email flirtation between Frances, the brain, and Nick, the prize.
And right here, this is where the entire board gets tilted. That digital flirtation, it becomes a physical affair. But for Frances, this isn't about romance. Not really. It's about power. It's a secret she holds, a move that completely destabilizes every other player on the board.
The game gets a new setting, a summer home in France. Now imagine all four players under one roof. You can just feel this line of tension drawn between all of them. While Bobbi and Melissa are bonding, Frances and Nick are stealing these secret moments away. And the facade, it starts to crack. Bobbi senses the distance. Melissa starts dropping comments like these tiny, expertly placed little bombs. The unspoken stuff is just hanging heavy in the air.
And right here is where we see the first major system error. See, Frances's entire operating system is built on this idea that she is cold, cerebral, and in control. But the data coming in, vulnerability, jealousy, this feeling that is alarmingly close to love, it just doesn't compute. Her self-perception and her reality are being pulled apart, creating this huge chasm.
So as all these contradictions start building up, reality finds another way to send a message. When the mind can no longer process the errors, well, the body itself starts to rebel. The intellectual game is about to get crashed by the undeniable reality of flesh and bone.
Which brings us to a really crucial point. What happens when your brain writes checks your body can't cash? When your carefully crafted theory of yourself demands something your physical reality just can't sustain anymore? You can try to ignore emotional warnings, sure, but can you ignore physical pain?
Suddenly, concrete problems start to shatter this abstract world of emails and witty banter. Bills are due. Her alcoholic father is creating constant stress. And then something else starts. A deep, intense physical pain that has no name and cannot be rationalized away. The system is overloading. Red lights are flashing everywhere.
And the downward spiral is fast. It's brutal. In this desperate attempt to get control back, Frances makes a rash move. She breaks up with Nick. But this impulsive act, it doesn't fix a thing. It just cuts another cord, deepening her isolation as the rift with Bobbi widens into a canyon.
Then the physical symptoms get worse. And this isn't just some minor ache. We're talking debilitating pain. It's a constant, screaming signal from her body that she can no longer ignore. It's a reality that can't be debated or theorized. It simply is. And then, the inevitable happens. A full system crash. The pain becomes so unbearable that it lands her in the hospital. The game is over. All the players are wiped from the board, and Frances is left completely alone with the one thing she could never, ever control: her own body.
The plot twist? Her pain gets a name: endometriosis. This is the crucial turning point. All of a sudden, her suffering is validated. It's a medical fact. But it's also a life-altering diagnosis, a physical truth that shatters her intellectual defenses for good.
So now the physical reality is undeniable. which means the emotional truths that everyone has been avoiding, they finally come rushing to the surface. The intellectual game is officially over. Welcome to the messy, painful world of real conversations.
The entire web of secrets just unravels. Bobbi discovers the affair and feels deeply betrayed, not by the sex, but by the lie. Their friendship implodes. Then, Melissa learns everything. All the cards are on the table, face up.
Melissa's reaction is what's really fascinating here. Instead of rage, she sends Francis this email that's filled with a kind of weary resignation and painful clarity. She sees the full, complicated picture of her own marriage. And this forces Francis to erase the title The Wife from her little chessboard piece and finally see Melissa as a complex, hurting human being.
So, the system has rebooted. Francis is stripped of all her intellectual armor. All that's left is pure vulnerability. And from this place, she has to decide how and with whom she wants to rebuild.
Rebuilding her relationship with Bobbi is the first and most important step, but this time it's not with witty debate. It's with a raw, vulnerable apology. She finally acknowledges that their friendship is the real love story, the bedrock of her life, and it's a slow, painful process of earning back that trust.
And then, the phone rings. It's Nick. They talk. He says he should probably hang up. And Francis, the girl who built her entire identity on being in control, says 3 simple words that surrender all of it. Come and get me. And that's where we're left with this question. What do you think? Is this final choice a tragic return to a destructive cycle? Or is it a moment of ultimate freedom, where she finally stops thinking her way through life and simply decides to live it, complications and all?